significantly reduce gun violence in America and save thousands of lives every year.
So, Congressman, so let me ask you, let's say I have an AR-15. I bought it legally 5 years ago. I'm a law-abiding citizen. You want to buy it back as President of the United States. I say no. You give me other incentives. I say no. I bought this legally. I'm keeping this. I live on a ranch. I need it for protection. What would you do then?
First of all, I wouldn't concede the point on following the law. I don't know you well, Joe, but I know you well enough to expect you to follow the law, even if it's a law that you disagree with. I think it's one of the things that distinguishes us as a country. We're a country of laws.
Okay, but let's just assume that there's a rancher in Texas that doesn't, that says, I'm not going to do this because this is an unjust law and it's unconstitutional. What's the next step? I think that's what we need to concede, because there will be people that don't turn their guns back in. What's the next step for the federal government there?
Yeah, I think just as in any law that is not followed or flagrantly abused, there have to be consequences, or else there is no respect for the law. So, in that case, I think there would be a visit by law enforcement to recover that firearm and to make sure that it is purchased, bought back, so that it cannot be potentially used against somebody else. But my faith is in this country and in my fellow Americans following the law and listening to people who own AK-47s and AR-15s, who acknowledge, who concede they don't need it for self-protection. They don't need it to hunt. Its real, true purpose and use is on a battlefield. And I think that's important to acknowledge, because when you talk to the people of Dayton who saw 9 gunned down in under 40 seconds, or in El Paso, 22 killed in under 3 minutes, it's hard to answer their question as to why this continues to happen, or why we would continue to allow more than 16 million of these weapons in our country. And Joe, we also have an example in Australia where those weapons of war were successfully bought back without going to a door-to-door confiscation, and where you've seen a dramatic reduction in gun violence and a dramatic reduction in mass shootings in that country.
Congressman, it's Willie Geist. Good to see you this morning. I think